Hello, and welcome to the Open Virtual Film Project. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the editor interactable objects. The first step is opening the OVFP plugin menu, either from the dropdown or the plugin menu here, and selecting the Interactable Objects tab. Inside of here, it will populate a list of all of the editor interactable objects in the scene. So there's a door back here that is set to be interactable. And if I click the Interact button, it will perform the interact function on that door. In this case, the door opens and closes. If I want to add a new interactable object, I can do that by clicking the spawn door or spawn animation object, and it will drop one of these objects in the world out in front of me. And then I can click the interact button, in this case to start an animation, or to open and close a door. If I select one of my interactable objects in its details panel, under the default header, there is a button that allows you to run the interact function on the object. With the door in particular, there is a toggle for whether or not the door is open or closed, and a value for the rotation offset of the door. So if I set this to open, I could rotate it open or closed to whatever amount that I like, and then when I click the interact button, it will open to that amount. If I want to change the mesh on the object, I can go into the component section, click on the door, and change the mesh here. And with my mesh selected, I can do any transformations I need to do to it, rotate, scale, etc. If I shift my object away from its origin a little bit, you'll see that there's this white sphere and that my door is inherited under this pivot. When I rotate the door, it will rotate from that pivot. So if I move this object around and run the interact command on it, you see it is rotating about that point. So as I'm working on doors, I generally drop their pivot in the bottom corner and scale it up however large I need it to be. I could also turn this into something like a trapdoor or an axis hatch by, instead of rotating around the z-axis, I could rotate around the x-axis and set my initial rotation to a closed position. So now when I select my object and click the interact button, it pops open like a hatch. The second of the types of objects available to you is an animation object. If I click the interact button, you'll see it starts this walk cycle. I also have the ability to have it run when I open an environment or go into VR for the first time. And if I wanted to change around the mesh, I can click on the skeletal mesh object inside its hierarchy, choose a new mesh, and then so I have a new mesh selected, come up to the animation to play, and choose an appropriate animation. If need be, I can also set whether or not to loop the animation, if it is a one-shot animation or not. So now, when I come back and hit the interact button, you'll see the animation playing. At the end of the video, I will show you how to make your own interactable objects. However, in the meantime, we're going to jump into VR mode to show the functionality there. So now that we are in VR mode, we're going to open up the menu, grab the interact tool, and when we hover over these objects and pull the trigger, you'll see it runs their animation. This functionality works the exact same in runtime VR mode. The last thing I want to do is show you creating the bones of your own interactable objects. To do that, I'm going to create a new blueprint class, make it an actor, and give it a name. And then with the blueprint open, I'm going to come to class settings, implemented interfaces, BPI OVFP interact interface, and from there I can come into the event graph and right-click this OVFP interact on the left-hand side and implement interface, and drop any code that I wanted to after this OVFP interact. A quick note is that a lot of animations and timelines don't necessarily work in editor, so you might have to try a few things to get the exact effect that you're looking for. However, since runtime is an actual game, any of the standard blueprint objects that you can create with Unreal will work. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.